In this video, we'll be looking at how to fetch rows from a result using MySQL SQLi fetch array function. This question is a response to a comment that I got on the video titled PHP and MySQL 9 reduce the risks of SQL injection attacks using prepared statements. So the question or the comment more like says a year after the video was uploaded and here I am. A nice video, thank you. And now I'd like to know how you can access the result information from this row. That's a great question. And I want to thank you for watching my videos. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. The state of the code is brought back to exactly how it was at the time this video was published. So we got the code sitting at that level. So in the login page, this is where we want to do the work. So let's just look at our database connectivity file. We've connected to the database and we've got an index file, a file that once the user's logged in, they go into, and a login page. So let's have a look at how it's currently looking like. So in the login page, and I'm also running my web server and I'm using XAMPP. So let's put in test 6. So that's a valid username. And I'll just show you my database on MySQL workbench. So basically I've brought it down to only one record. Username is 6 and the password is also, username is test 6 and password is brought back to plain text because I believe we hashed it somewhere after these videos, but I brought it back to just plain, yeah. So anyway, so that's a correct password, but if I put in, so a different user, then it takes me to an incorrect username. And notice how this actually takes me to the logged in page. So how do we retrieve information from the results? So let's see. We're going to exit from here. So we're going to go all the way to here. We want to be able to retrieve or fetch rows from that result. And in this particular demo, we're going to look at MySQLi fetch array. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment out the code from the previous work that we don't need at this point. And over here, I'm just going to put a comment and I'll say fetching the data as an associative array, basically. So we're going to use the function MySQLi fetch array. I'm going to pass in two arguments. First one is the result, and the second one is MySQL. It's a constant MySQLi assoc. So basically now this function is gonna fetch a row from the result set of a MySQL query. Now this constant MySQLi associate, it's a constant that ensures that data is returned as an associative array, basically, where the keys will be the column names for the database. Now, basically, this is going to return an associative array. So we want to put that into a variable called row. Now this row will hold the fetched row as an associative array. If this is successfully fetched, this variable row will contain the data, otherwise it will be false. So we want to put this in an if statement like this. And so what we're trying to say is if the, there's a check here happening. If the fetch was successful, then row is not false. The code inside the if statement will execute. Next, what we want to do is we want to basically replace the username that we have from the start with the actual column name from the database. So let's rewrite username. And here we're going to use raw. And like we said, we're going to use the name of the column as the key. So coming back to our database, that's the basically the key, what we want to retrieve the data from the database. So we want the value of that basically, which will be test 6. So let's display the result using echo to output the string. User, let's just put it in like that. And let's concatenate the value from the variable username. Else, let's put a message to the user. Echo, it's an incorrect username or password. Okay, let's see what we have here. So if I said test 6 and I've logged in successfully, so it was able to retrieve that info from the database. But if I've given it some other data, it just says incorrect user, because we know we've only got that one record in the database. You can also feel free to add more variables if you want to put more info, grab more info from the database, like say last name. And you want to make sure this actually is a column in your database. So you've actually got it, and I definitely have a last name there. And so that we can also concatenate the result. Just put a space between them so that it's not stuck. And last name. Let's see what we get. Test 6. Nothing happened. Let's try it again. Nothing's happening. I think I have a big mistake. Last name concatenate a dot. So the dot does the concatenation, right? So we got it here. That's pretty much the information that's coming in from the database. Now, I really hope that this was your question. I'll have another video after this showing a different way of getting the information. So thanks for the question, and I'll see you in the next video.